of the committee, the gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. McHenry, for 4 minutes for an opening statement.
This is a hearing in search of a headline. Just weeks ago, we had the CEO of Wells Fargo, then CEO of Wells Fargo before this committee, on the bank's pattern of abusive action towards customers. Every one of their regulators had fined them in the last 2 years. Now that organization has been through 2 chief executives in just over 2 years' time. I supported that hearing. It had legislative intent. It was important. Perhaps we're here, though, simply based upon your size. But as my Democrat friends well know, your size is in some ways the product of their legislating. Dodd-Frank imposed a massive new regulatory regime. The last document I read put the new number of regulations as around 400. So it's certainly grown your compliance department. Size helped some banks survive, even thrive. Some banks could not bear the cost, so they consolidated. Others closed their door. In fact, we have over 2,000 banks that are not here since pre-crisis. At the time, that didn't seem to be a big concern for some of my friends on the other side of the aisle. Perhaps we're here today to talk about the health of the U.S. banking sector. I can tell you this, the economy has grown. And as we know, bank profitability, bank revenue, tends to track GDP growth. That has been the case. And so they're up too. Banks hold more capital than pre-crisis. That is positive. The labor market is strong. That too is positive. The U.S. added nearly 200,000 jobs in March, a move that the New York Times recognized as a return to solid growth. So why are we here? I fear my colleagues on the other side of the aisle are here to attack our economic system, attack the nature of our market. I fear my friends want to dictate social and environmental policy through government mandates on banks. That's not the right approach. Earlier this year, I sent a letter to Chairwoman Waters asking for a series of hearings on critical issues that could pose systemic risk to our economy and the health of our financial markets, and thereby the health of American families and their communities. One of the issues I included in my letter is Brexit. That is in the headlines today. That shares some of the headlines that you 7, are sharing. Today, the UK Prime Minister Theresa May is attending the EU summit to present her country's path, or attempted path forward, in light of their referendum almost 3 years ago. I think a more productive use of our time might be to question our banking regulators on whether or not they're prepared for a hard Brexit on Friday. We know approximately $450 trillion in nominal swaps and futures flow through the United Kingdom. We should be reviewing the implications of a shift of the derivatives market to continental Europe and the challenges that poses. What impact on derivatives end users here in the United States? What effects on the global banking system? We should be using this hearing to work together to ensure the proper preparation and ensure that those things are being done for our economy, our institutions, and our consumers. That is the bigger issue here. And Brexit's not the only issue. Chinese debt and the slowing nature of the global economy is a significant issue for the American people and for financial institutions. We should be focused on that today. And instead, we have 7 of you with 3 different business models here before us because you're big. So I don't think the majority called this hearing to talk about those systemic risk issues. I think that is a failure. No, instead of focusing on these real issues, some of my colleagues will use their time to focus on a law they enacted 9 years ago. They'll use their time to talk about how big you are, despite the fact it was their policies that spurned, even insisted upon, your growth. But I would say to our witnesses, my focus is going to be on systemic risk, to make sure we are focused upon those key issues that matter in the short term and the long term. Thank you.